Well, hello there, my fellow cats. It's Catfish Tyler. And let me turn my volume down so we don't have a delayed tank sound. I want to thank you for being here with me on a live session. That's right, this evening I decided to come back on because I want to talk SoFi. Briefly, I got some things to show you late that have been developing and I've looked into. I just want to talk them over with you folks. So, hello, all SoFi cats, and welcome to my late night expose. We use that word. There you go. So I don't know how many people are going to join me. I decided to come on this evening because I know there's several people who live out west that tell me they don't really get a chance to watch me live during the day, and they come home at night and they watch me when they get home from work. So I want to make sure Mike here is set the right direction to pick me up well. And I want to thank you for being here with me. It is my late night session. I hope you like what I put up here for my screen. The SoFi train seems unstoppable, folks. And what I mean by that is what happened this evening again in the after hours. And we're starting to see changes here recently in the after hours. And I believe they're going to become more and more prevalent. That's just the way I feel. I could be completely wrong, but I don't think so. So I decided to hold out here for just a little bit, try and move this light so it's not so directly into my glasses. I can see they're creating quite a glare. Hey, I see we got somebody here with us already. Want to welcome you to being here with me, and I want to thank you for being here with me this evening as I take a look at SoFi and what I'm so feeling so good about and why I feel so great about the stock. Now I know we had a setback today. I know we didn't end up green today, or did we? Let's take a closer look. I think we did. So I'm going to bring this down here. Don't need to be so big. And I'm going to swap sides with it too. Come over here. Bam, just like that. Okay. Now I got me out of the way where I'm not up here taking up all the screen. And let's get to the display screen and bring it up here to the top. There we go. And then go to what I want to show you right now. Folks, look at the fact that, in fact, we did end up green technically today. I know it closed at 789, down 1.25, but look where we went up in the after hours. 1.27, that's technically zero point zero 0.02 of a gain, and that's 5 days in a row finishing up in the green, folks. So I just wanted to show that to you so that you're aware that we did, in fact, run up in the after hours, and we almost got to 8, which I said we might hit $8 in the after hours. So I felt real good about calling that one. So let me go ahead and put this back down so I can see if anybody comes on here with me at this late session. And let's get onto the YouTube channel page and pull it over here. Bam. And let's see if we got some folks here with me. And if not, that's okay too, because folks, I want you to know that I'm not concerned one little single bit about not getting a lot of viewership here, because I think a few people might come over and take a look at what I got to show you. And I think it's very, very encouraging that now we're seeing closings. You can see yesterday, previous close was 7.99, and today we ended up at 7.99 into the evening. And to me, that's a win, win, win. And I'm going to show you why, folks. Look here on the historical data. I want you to see something. Look at the volume levels that we were achieving when there was such runaround pricing going on, pricing swinging around and getting thrown around all over like a rag doll, SoFi was. And then where the volume levels were at that time back here, 15 million, 19 million, 16 million, 18 million. Folks, those days are gone. Those days are over. Those days when they were borrowing 13 million shares per day, and then the volume level only being barely over that amount at 15 million or 16 million. Of course, they're going to beat us around like a rag doll and do whatever they want with SoFi when they're shorting and borrowing 13 million shares a day. And then they don't, and then they have a volume total of only 16 million or 15 million. Man, they should have been able to control it even more to their liking, not seeing a swing off of a high of 867 to 845. Folks, that right there, that's only a 22-cent swing when the volume was down here in the 15 millions. They should have been able to just really swing it all over the place if they were, in fact, doing 13 million shares a day that they were borrowing. And I don't understand why they didn't. But I'm glad to see that now this is days of old. Like I said, 19 million, 16 million, 18 million shares. Forget about it. Folks, get on up here and see where we are now. Get into the real time, not into the old world of 16 and 17 million, even in the early part of October. Folks, we're getting on up here now. 26 million, 29 million, 31 million, 47, 45. And look where we are approaching here as we get closer and closer to the earnings call when we're going to break into profitability, folks. And look at the volume levels now. 13 million, 40 million, 36 million, 45. Rob Santiago, what impact does the FINRA fine have on the stock? That much. And you saw the impact today. They tried to take advantage of that news and start running the price down this afternoon. And I told everybody it was a big head fake, and the doggone thing would end up probably green by 8 o'clock this evening. And by God, the thing went green by 8 o'clock. Look at that this evening. Today's down only 125. This ending up 127. That's technically a green day, folks. So I'm telling you, Manny's Wait. Hey there, welcome. Yeah, I'm up here late because I wanted to show people what happened in the after hours. It did just what I said it would. It went from 789 to 790, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95. Harry Toe, good evening, Cat. I can't stay long, but I figured I'd jump on and hit the thumb on. Thank you very much. Yeah, hit the like button, everybody. Rolling Dubs, what's up, everyone? Yes, welcome, welcome, welcome. Look at what happened to Sofi. We ended up green for the day, and folks, that's 5 days in a row green. And what I want to show you folks here also that's nice, beside this massive volume increase from 13 million and 36 million to 45 to 68 to 45 to 30 to 50 million again today, folks. You've absolutely got to love the money coming into this stock right now. There's a lot of interest in this stock. And remember, this morning I showed you the institutional ownership was at 713 shares. Look at it now, folks. 714 shares. Right there, you can see it. Another institution entered the fray today. And if I refresh the screen, we might even see 715 or more. Let's refresh the screen and see where we are. Still at 714. And trust me, folks, that is a long position that was taken up. We've gone from 656 to 657 long. Folks, just like I showed you on this chart right here, people are coming in on this stock. There are institutions, just as we saw back here on December 21st. You can see this creeping up from here, here, from the previous 3 months here to this term, here, creeping up, and here, look at them going up, bam, 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 and it's not creeping, it's starting to get faster here. This is building faster, and look what happened before. It jumped all the way up here to over 400. Folks, when the institutions keep coming in like this, you need to keep hanging on to your shares. The only reason the price is running down on these occasions is so they can get in cheaper. That's what they did today, and they did it, and you can see what happened in the after hours. Yep, we are rolling right now. Yep, only bad news can slow us down. And folks, there's not going to be any more bad news. And today I thought it was almost humorous. The SEC had to step in and fine us a whole $300,000. Are you kidding me? Who gives a dang about $300,000? There's that much traded in this stock every freaking minute. $300,000 is traded on this stock every single minute, and sometimes much more than that, especially at the end of the day, like when they start pouring in again like they did today. What do you mean pouring in like they did today? Well, I'm going to show you here on the 1-day chart. All right, I want to show you exactly what happened, and then I'm going to show you a little secret that you might not know. I want to thank you all for being here. Don't forget to hit the like button. I want you to get over here, and you can see this chart. Look at the very end of the day. Look at this massive buy-in. Look at that right there, folks. You're talking up $7 million worth of this stock were bought in the very last minute at 359, people. You don't see that. And this is the exact same reason I said we're going to see a run in the after hours, because here again, they tried to run us down from 340, and right here at the close, boom, they came in. They didn't give away their card until the last minute. And I saw that right there, and that's why I told you look for this stock to run on up in the after hours, and I called it, just like I have been doing a lot lately. Yes, we are rolling right now, rolling Dubs. Yes, Harry Toe, nice to be. Thank you for being here. I want to show you, like I said, institutional ownership is building, just like here, and here. We're going to see a spike to here, and there's going to be here, bam, 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 and there's going to keep going up, because at that point we're breaking into profitability, everyone. And when we break into profitability, then the pensions can start coming in. Right now, they're just sitting there on the sidelines, watching all this action, and they probably want to wish they could already get in now because they know where this thing's going. And the pensions, once we show and break into profitability, they'll be able to enter the fray as well. Pensions cannot come in on this stock because they have not shown profitability yet, and they will not, as bylaws will not allow pensions to come in on stocks that are not profitable. But when this stock goes profitable in this next earnings call, and they will do that for a certain, because if they weren't going to do that, I guarantee you Anthony Noto would have expressed that in this last question and answer. Okay. He did not. In fact, he reiterated, as he always does, they're on target. They're still on target. They're still growing like mad, folks. They're growing like crazy. Now, I want you to see something else. And that was, if you didn't see the very end of my show, I wanted to show you what was going on with our bank placement and our rankings in the top banks. You all heard Anthony Noto also say that one of these days we're going to be in one of the top 10 banks in the United States. And I believe he has a very good reason for saying that. And I'm going to show you some things right now that are going to kind of reiterate what I'm talking about. And first of all, I have to give credit where credit is due. Slap on the wrist today. That's all it was. Slap on the wrist. Same thing with all of these hedge funds. When they get caught doing something they shouldn't do, naked shorting or whatever, they get little tiny slaps on the wrist. They get fined $10,000 and they're making so much money doing it. They don't give a dang. They don't give a dang. All right. This right here, folks, this is a guy in the very corner. You can see right there, barely can see him. That is Tevis. He's with Trading Fundamentals. And this chart that he has here shows the bank ratings. I want you all to see these bank ratings. March the 31st, we were ranked number 449. March 31st of last year, 2022, we were ranked number 449 and only had 2 billion in assets. By June the 30th, March, April, May, June, 3 months later, we'd gone from number 449 in bankings to 240, number 240, and we had raised from 2 billion to 4.4 billion. The next 3 months, we went in September 30th from 240 to bank number placement 184 with $6.5 billion in assets. By the next quarter, we'd gone from 184 to bank number 149, where we had 9.124 billion. Folks, that's a 33% increase in 3 months. From 6.5 to 9.12 billion. That's almost, 30%. Then the next one, they went from December to March 31st, 3 months later, from bank number 149 to 114, and had gone from 9 to 13.2 in billion dollars. All right. From 9 billion to 13.2. Again, folks, you're talking about a 30% growth in the assets in billions. And from March the 31st, they went to June the 30th, 3 months later, bank 114 in March to bank number 90 in June the 30th, and gone from 13 billion to 17 billion 702. They're continually raising in assets by 30% every 3 months, everyone. Do you get it? Does this make sense to you all? Okay. And then finally, on September the 30th, they announced that it had jumped from bank number 90 to bank number 80. And they got from bank number to number 80 with not 17 billion, but 21 billion in assets. Folks, this is what you call a growth company. Okay. This is called a major growth company, gains in assets by 30% every 3 months. I wish I owned a company that made that kind of money. I can tell you that much. I don't, but I sure as heck wish that I did. Now, I want to tell you folks something, and I want to thank you for being here. Rob Siniago, I want to thank you for being here. And what the FinRefine has no effect on the price. Just think about this, folks. Also, when it comes to the crypto, you may have heard about Sofi leaving crypto. I'll tell you why. Because crypto is not what they want to be involved in. Too much hanky panky going on there for them to be comfortable. They're now a certified bank. They've got a charter, and they're going to be more cautious. They're not going to get caught in an FTX scam. They're not going to get caught up in any of the Bitcoin games that could be played. And now, don't get me wrong, they were making money with their Bitcoin, the part of the division of their company in Bitcoin, but it only accounted for actually less than 1% of their revenues. So less than 1% of their revenues, of all that growth you saw in revenues, came from Bitcoin, and that's not enough gain for all the risk potential, is the way I look at it. And I think they saw the same thing. And I don't think they wanted to be mixed up in the possibilities of what can happen with a Bitcoin company or the Bitcoin across the board, regardless. I think they just didn't want anything to do with it because it's a roll of the dice in some way to them, and they just don't like dealing with that. Plus, they have regulations that are starting to be implemented by the U.S. government, and they saw that there was going to be regulators coming in on this Bitcoin, and they said, no, we're out. So they got out. I think that was a wise move for them to do that. Dawn Guyo, nice hat. Thank you very much, Dawn. I appreciate it. Yes, I want to say to you folks, I'm up here in Michigan. It's cold outside. It's cold outside. And it's cold inside if you keep your temperatures down on your thermostat so you don't go broke paying the doggone electric bill. And so that's what I'm doing. I keep my temperature down in the house and I keep myself dressed warmly. And I don't need to worry about turning the heat up to freaking 80 degrees. As a matter of fact, in the wintertime, I keep my thermostat at night at 63 degrees, 63. And I do that because it's better for your health if you go from out indoors to outdoors and you're not having these massive swings in temperature. I know for a fact it's better for you health wise to keep your temperature more moderated, not have these big fluctuations. Okay. In case you didn't realize that, I'm just passing that along to you. But I got some other things to tell you about on this SoFi stock. All right. And that is that you need to pay attention to this volume that's pouring into it right now. Again, we're not seeing days of 13 million shares. We're not seeing days back here of 16 million, 21 million, 22 million, 20 million, 17 million. Folks, when the shorts were borrowing over 13 million shares each day to short with, what do you think is going to happen when the volume only hits 17, 17, 16, 18? They can yank the price anywhere they want. They can make it do anything they want. But folks, when you start to get up into volume levels like we're achieving now, and when you get up into this, not 13, this was the short day, that was Thanksgiving. All right, we had a half day of trading on that day. But look at the level here: 36 million, 45 million, 41, 68. It's getting out of control, folks. 45 million, 30, and then 50 million today. And they were trying so hard to take it down, and the doggone thing ended up green at the end of the night. It wasn't down 1.25 anymore. It was up 0.02, folks. And that's what I told you would possibly happen by the end of this evening. And I like it when I'm right. Okay. So I'm just showing you a few things that I showed everybody during the day if you didn't get to see me during the daytime. And I'm here just to pass along this information. Now, look at this after hours, what was going on here. I'm going to jump all the way back to about 3, and I'm going to even get even further back to 5. And folks, you can see it was as late as it's a $6, 6:40 in the evening. And I'm gonna see if I can get any further. I cannot. But at 6:40, it was at 797, 798, 797. It kept trading higher and higher and higher the later it went. And look at the size of the volumes of buys here. Folks were buying 1,000, 1,600, 1,118. Folks, then they came on in and kept running it up. Look at the size of the buys. They were trying to manipulate it with one share at a time. These are how the manipulators work, with one share at a time, trying to hanky pank around with it. That doesn't do anything. And I've told you that before. Sometimes it's just $1 that one share that they're working with to try to get to certain numbers. But then you can see what happened at the very end of the evening here. Right here at the end, they started coming in again, ran it up to from 798, 200 to 799, 500 to 799. Then you can see all these coming in. After this buy at 799, 31 shares, you got a 798 for 149. Here they tried to hold it back by dumping 798 to hold it back. Then it dropped to 797 for a flash. And then look at this, folks. When you see the price change from 797 to 799 on one share, folks, you know that they got problems on their end. When you see the price go from 797, 2 cents up on one share, folks, they got problems on their hands. Okay. That doesn't and shouldn't happen, but there it is. I show it to you because I find it very interesting. And then you can see here we got on up to 798.98. Who in the world would be calling me at this hour? Sorry, can't talk now. And he just hung up. It was the butt dial. So, folks, I just want you to be aware of the fact that when you see numbers like 100 at 798.99 and one to move it to 799, one share, folks, the shorts are up against the wall. Okay. And look at what I got here in the after hours. We were green, and I want to go down here and take a look at the news here. All right. We're going to refresh this page right here. And I want you to know that I can guarantee you, I know Anthony Noto as a CEO, he's not going to like this kind of ink that you see printed out here. Brokerages, Sofi, public fined for misleading customers over stock loans. Okay. Brokerages, SoFi Securities, Public, and M1 Finance. Okay. So there was three and actually four that got accused of doing the same thing. Four of them that got accused, not just us. But you have to read in between the lines here to understand that, because they don't try to show you this in the headline. See, right? Chuck Ushup added today as directed. Very nice. Congratulations. And look where we ended up in the after hours. Who called that? Who called $7.99 or $8 would be where we ended up. And we ended up green for the day, which is 5 days in a row green. And if you think the shorters are and happy seeing that happen, I can guarantee you they've got to be in fear, and they should be. All right. Now I want you to see something here, right here. It says 8 hours ago, broker, and you read the title and they make it sound like SoFi was the only one involved. And that's the way these people operate. This is the way that the Wall Street Journal and Market Watch and the street.com, this is the way they work. Zacks, they all do the same thing. They use misleading lines like this. Brokerages, SoFi Public fined for misleading customers over stock loans. Well, that's not what it was. The brokerages were SoFi, PBULIC, Public, and M1 Finance. And there was another, I read into it on another Google report. There were actually four, misled millions of investors about their securities lending program, according to the financial industry. Okay. And I'm going to get into this a little bit more because it's important to understand the validity of it and exactly what it means to this company. And I say nothing. I think it will have zero effect on it, because why would it have gone up 10 points after the stock market closed if there was really any concern? What people are concerned about are the shorts holding positions in this stock and trying to take advantage of a headline like that and a slap on the wrist fine to try to make the price drop 25 cents so people like you and me get a better buying opportunity, and them as well. So they got to buy to get out. They're trying to get out of this, and they use any means they can. So it says, continue the reading. We're going to click on this, and hopefully we don't get in a debacle with Wall Street Journal making me pay anything or anything. So SoFi agrees to pay the fine. It says SoFi agreed to pay $500,000 fine. And it says brokerages SoFi, Public, M1 Finance misled millions of investors about their security lending programs, according to the Financial Industry Regulator Authority. In such programs, brokerages make money by loaning out investors' shares to third parties, including short sellers who bet against those stocks. Until recently, SoFi, Public, and M1 said they would pay customers a slice of their revenues from lending the shares, but instead they kept the money. All right. FINRA alleged in a set of enforcement actions unveiled Wednesday. Well, maybe they were waiting. Maybe we might hear from Anthony Noto tomorrow. He might, for all I know, come out and say, hold on a minute. There wasn't a deadline on when we had to pay the money to people that we're letting people use for the last month. There's no deadline. And it says here, for instance, SoFi Securities, the brokerage arm of SoFi Technologies, enrolled more than 2 million customers in a securities lending program between January 2019 and March 2023, receiving more than $8 million in revenue from its clearing firm for lending those customers shares, FINRA said. Okay. So I'm not going to continue reading this, but I want you to know you don't need to worry about this, because it's not going to dilute anything. It's not going to do anything to hurt SoFi's price. And the evidence of that is by what happened in the after hours tonight, seeing it rebound very nicely and actually end up green, as I said it might by the end of the day. So there you go. That's the big story about that. Congratulations to the shorters who were able to work that story into the headline. But I want you to see something here. Kathy Wood has snapped up another 179,000 shares of a Jim Cramer approved tech stock, like she was waiting on Jim Cramer to tell her to buy it. You think that's what she did? No, I tell you what she did. She went over here to this interactive chart and she looked at the 3-month chart and she said, holy cow, this thing's getting ready to explode. And that's why she bought yesterday. Look at this 3-month chart, everyone. It absolutely looks fantastic. Look at the 10-day moving average that at exactly on 11:30 made in a very abrupt change. And 10-day moving averages, folks, don't usually do that kind of thing. You don't usually see a 10-day average. Look how slow and sloping it's been. Look at the curvature to it. Look at these nice gradual curvy lines on the 10-day. This is what you're used to seeing, folks. Look at this right here. Curvy, gradual, very curvy, nice. But look at this abrupt angle change. Wham! Was that what Kathy Wood was looking for to make her buy in and buy up to $3 million more yesterday or day before or whenever it was? I think so. I think Kathy Wood does not need to rely on Jim Cramer. That's for dang sure. And Chuck, I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you, Don, for your comment, and thank you for being here. Hopefully what I'm telling you folks makes sense to you. Don, very curvy, nice. Yeah, look at all those curves, curvy, 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 wham! All right, that's what a 10-day moving average is supposed to do. Not that right there. And look at it right on my line here. This is my line that I've added just so you're aware of it. All right. I can take it off just by right clicking on it. But folks, I want you to be aware of something. Look back here at this chart and look at what we got here on this chart over the last few days since the 18th. We got a single bottom there. We got another bottom here. That's 2. We got 3 here. We got 4 here. And we got 5 right there with a slight run, and then 6. 6 bottoms. 6 bottoms. And look at how low the volume was down here that they manipulated it down with. But when they got it to the very bottom, look at the volume since then. Does it look like this right here over here? Absolutely no, it does not look like this volume over here. This does not look like this. And this is the exact same reason that you're not seeing this gradual move like this line here because of the volume, folks. This is why you're not seeing a move like this, okay? That's not what you're seeing anymore. You're seeing a move like this, right? That's acute, okay? And the reason that it's making this massive move like this is because you're not seeing dinky little candles like this anymore. You're starting to see some big volume coming back in here, folks. And I've been telling you about that the whole NASDAQ all along. In case you have not been paying attention to the NASDAQ, I'm going to show you really quickly here right now. And hopefully you'll hit the like button and you'll subscribe. Tell others about my channel because the information I provide, I think, can be valuable. And the valuable information I'm going to show you now on the NASDAQ is this. Don't pay attention to the single day rundown bull malarkey like today. Look at the 1-month chart. Look at the 6-month chart. I want you folks to look closely at what happened the last time the price achieved this level. All right, that what we just got to. Look what happened. It was such a straight up and then a yank back down and then up and then a yank back down. Folks, does this right here, when it got to those levels, does that look anything at all to you like what we've got going on over here? Look at this massive climb and look at this massive support level building on the NASDAQ now since November the 16th. Okay? And it actually made a nice move up at November the 20th. But what I'm trying to show you, these two sharp points of this have no similarity to what you have going on here. This is why I'm calling for a big run on the NASDAQ, because this is nothing more here than a huge base building. And then look at the volume increasing here over the last week. And if you don't know what I mean by that, come on over here to the historical data and let me show you the difference. Look here, you can see that the volume has gone from 3.8 billion, 2.5 billion, 4.2 billion, 4.4 billion. Folks, this is money coming into the market and into the stock. 4.8 billion, 5.6 billion, 5.6 again, 6.2, 6.2 again. Are you seeing what I'm getting at? Okay. That, yeah, that looks very volatile. Yep. Well, this older chart was volatile. It was very volatile on the NASDAQ. And what you're seeing now is not volatile. It looks very solid. Okay. That's why I'm showing it to you, folks. I want you to be aware that what we're seeing today is not the same as what we've seen in the past. It's a different story. There's a different wind blowing. It's a different direction. And it's a different type of a run that we've got building here, folks. That's my belief. Now, I am not a financial advisor. I am simply a person who's been trading now for a long time, since back in 2000. And people say, when did you get started? And back then in 2000, I got started out because I won a bunch of money on the Wheel of Fortune, believe it or not. And it's on YouTube. If you go to Wheel of Fortune and you put my name, Tyler, and you put Amy and Joy, you'll see what I did on the Wheel of Fortune. And I got to tell you right now, folks, I kick booty. Okay. I'm good at that show. I've always been good at the show. I've watched it ever since I was knee high to a grasshopper, and I was always good at it. I could always beat everyone in our family when we sat around the TV. I could always guess the puzzles before them, almost always. And so I got my opportunity one time. I got on there and won a bunch of money. I've been trading ever since. So that's my experience. It gives me 24 years now of trading in the stock market and learning the most from my losses. Okay. I learned the most in 2008. I had the money in there from 2000 to 2008, and I had gone up and up and up and up and up and up and up. 2008, I almost lost everything that I had made, all my gains. Fortunately, I was smart enough to get out when I did. Tyler, what are you doing up past your bedtime? LOL. Well, folks, he's not really laughing about that, because he might know that this morning, for example, I woke up this morning and I took pictures for everybody so you could see where the price was this morning. All right. In case you didn't realize. And I'll tell you right now, when I got up this morning and took a picture of the price this morning, the price was sitting at, and I'll tell you where it was this morning, and I'll tell you what time it was this morning and when it was there. All right, hold on. This morning when I got up, the time was, there we go, 5:15, okay? 5:15 in the morning is when I got up, and I started looking, and the price at that time at 5:15 was 807 at 5:15. And then I want you to all to know that I get up at these hours and check these prices because I'm looking for their games to be played in the early hours when no one's watching. That's what I've discovered lately. Sometimes I can get up just after 5. I can see the price spike all the way up into 820, 830, 840, and I can see how high. And I saw this morning it went to 817. So this morning I said, dang, I'm going to get out some at 813. And then I said, once it got there and it kept going up, I got out again at 824, and I got out again at 831, and I got out again at 843. The most shares I got out was at 843, and I told everyone here that were on the channel with me, get out there. What's the price at now? Look at it right now. Can you not see? $7.99. $7.99. It's green for the day again, folks. They ran it down 1.25 during the day, and it went up 1.27. So how do you like that, Roberto? Holy crap. Dang thing ended up green today. That's the 5th green day in a row. And not only is it the 5th green day in a row, it also happens to be, if you look at this chart since November here, I want you to pay very close attention that this price here has gone from 741. Oh, that's real time. Yes, real time. Right. Yep. And what I'm showing you on my phone was the price this morning at 5:15 in the morning. It was 80 whatever it was. That's what it was at 5:15 this morning. Okay. Now, as I said, what I've discovered is sometimes they'll test the highs very early in the morning to see what the limitations are. Real early in the morning, they can determine that, and then that's where they go after during the daytime. They already know where the level of resistance is because they tested it at 5 something in the morning, folks. All right. So that's why I get up. And you know another reason I get up so early? So you don't have to. Okay. That's why. I get up at that hour because then you don't have to get up. You can get the information from Catfish himself, who takes pictures of the price. Okay. And here we go again. I'm going to come over here just so you can see this, and I'm going to blow this up so you can see this for you in case you didn't see it. I'm going to make sure you can see right here what time it was this morning when Catfish shows you the number. Oh my gosh, what happened to that? I bumped the bottom. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Didn't mean to. Hold on. We'll find it here again. Dadgummit. Oh gosh. 8:06 after hours. That was after hours. That was yesterday at 8:06. Here it is right here again. I've got it again. Here it is, folks. I won't screw up. Look at that. Pre-market 5:15 this morning, everybody. Price was 8:07 at 5:15. Okay. So there you go. You guys didn't have to get up to figure that out and see that. But what they did was they ran the price up in the pre-market to, I think it was 8:17. And when it got to 8:17 in the pre-market, I had a feeling that they were testing to see where the level of resistance was. So in the daytime, they'd know where to get out. And so that's why I said, let's take out at 8:13. And I said again, let's take out at 8:21. Let's take out some at 8:30. Let's take out some at 8:44. And then I actually lowered the 8:44 to 8:43. That's what I suggested because they try to stop it at 8:44, and they did. They actually, the high today was what I called almost 8:45. So they did try to stop it at 8:44. The problem was when the momentum was going and the adrenaline was running, it went past their 8:44 limit, 1 penny, and then came right on down. So called that one today, and those that were here with me saw it. Now I'm going to raise it. I'm going to put this back down here so you don't have to look at me here. There we go. Boom. We're going to put it. Oh man, I grabbed the wrong dang one. Let me make this fit the screen now. Sorry. Transition, please. Transform, fit the screen. Make that right again. Bam, that's right. And now we're going to try to get me. Oh my gosh, come on. There we go. And get me out of the way. Okay, perfect. All right, now, folks, I'm going to get back over here because I wanted to show you that what I was trying to show you there on that chart, it was look here at now what we got going on. And this looks very similar to the date after December the 15th. I want to show some of you folks who may not have seen before. Let me get over here first and reduce this down so I can see what you guys are saying. All right, here's what I want you to be aware of. And I showed some people this earlier, but way back in December on when we had an earnings call that came out December 1st, we beat the street. And man, I mean, it was not then, it was in May, April, May. It was on May the 1st, we beat the street. Price went from 623 to opened at 652, and they let it go up 2 whole cents when we beat the street. And then they used 125,000 to run the price down from there to there. Look at that, folks. They ran the price down $1.07. Hey, great Karnak, what's SoFi high tomorrow? Really, LOL. Okay, I got you. Great Karnak. That's hilarious. All right, let me get this thing. Let me get my page refreshed here because it looks like I'm running behind the time a little bit. So I'm going to refresh this right now so I can get closer to what time it is and get rid of the delay so that we're more relevant in what you're saying to what I'm saying. Okay. So we're just going to do it right now. It's refreshing right now, and everybody's going to be back up. The great Karnak. All right. Thank you for saying so. And that's hilarious. And that certainly dates if you don't know anything about going back to the Johnny Carson show. But folks, anyway, I wanted you to see what happened in the after hours, folks. There's some volume that came in, people buying 1,000 shares at a time at $7.99 like it was going out of style. And so don't worry, we're fine. And that's why we're going to see another spike tomorrow. Okay. Another spike coming tomorrow. All right, and this is a stock that I happen to have that I decided to go ahead and sell, and I just did. So that's gone off my plate, and we're going to get out of here right now, and we're going to get out of here right now, and now we're going to get back to SoFi. Look at the institutional owners, which has now gone up another one today. So that's good news, folks, for us all to see another institution. Yeah, the great Karn, I forget what he was called, but he used to wear a turban all the time, Johnny Wood, and he would do these crazy, crazy things talking about predictions in the future. And sometimes it was pretty hilarious. I can't remember what he was gone by, but at any rate, That's where I'm headed now. I'm headed down a path of showing you guys the volume here lately is getting crazy. Look at the volume that we were just seeing about a few weeks ago of 17, 17, 16 million, 18 million. Look at all these low numbers here. And that made it easy as hell to run the price around anywhere they wanted. Now it's getting out of control for them. Look at this volume, folks. 36 million, 45 million, 41 million, 68 million, 45 million. 30 was the lowest, and the price kept going up. The low went from 765 to 775, all the way up to 803 on only 30 million 2 days ago. And then we had 50 million today again, folks. 50 freaking million shares again. And I called that. And so did Mopar, I believe it was earlier. If he's still here, I don't know. But anyway, what's it's short now? Well, I didn't look at what Danny Deals. I didn't see him yet put up that. He's usually very good about putting up a video for me, and I didn't see him come on yet. Let's go see if he's on now, because he's the one I go to tell me the short information. He keeps track of that for me. And let's go see if Danny Deals, which is, by the way, Hurricane Lopez. If you don't know about him yet, you should. Okay, get over there and check him out, because this guy is good. He knows what he's talking about. Let's see if we can find out if he's up and running right now, because he'll be over in my sub. And here he is, Hurricane Lopez. But no, let's see if he did do a video. And let's see if he did. Nope, 19 hours ago. So he still hasn't put anything up. He hasn't put up a thing today. He was probably pretty frustrated, and he probably didn't want to say anything about SoFi with the headlines that came out today. But folks, I'm here to tell you, and you can actually see there were other here from Trading Fundamentals that were talking about it. SoFi fined, okay? SoFi got fined. Whoop-de freaking do. Don't think it matters one little bit. It's not going to change anything. And as you can see what happened in the after hours with it running back up, who gives a dang? Nobody really does. Don Yahoo have the short. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I got you. Don Yahoo have the short. Anyway, I'm not sure what the short amount was today, but I know that it's reached the highest that it's ever been. I know that back on June the 16th, the short volume was 132 million. And I know that as of yesterday, it was over 160 million. All right. So that volume we saw yesterday was reason that we were able to see what we did was only 30 minutes, is they used 170 million. I have no idea why they couldn't make the price drop yesterday. And as I said, now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you can now see that SoFi has had a gain. Looking at the historical chart from here all the way down at 654, you can see the gains. 1 day up, 2 days up, 3 cents down, 3 out of 4, 4 out of 5, 5 cent down, 5 out of 6, 6 out of 7, 7 out of 8, and 8 out of 9 days, folks. Well, I guess that would be 8 out of 10 or 7 out of 10, because there was 2 days. But look at the days when they're taking it down at the open, how much it is. It's fractional, folks. They used to be able to make this thing close it. Look at this, 728, and it was up to 741, 747, 742. That's more like now 799 to 778, 20 cents, 22 cents down. You see the differences we used to see from the closes to the opens. Look at this one, 844 for the day's start, and the next day 824, then 810 as they worked it down, folks. It's changing. They can't do that anymore. They can't beat us around. Don't Yahoo have it? Scroll down to the statistics. All right. Well, I'll do that for you. I'll go over to the statistics right now on SoFi, and we'll see if we can find it, because I hope I can. Let's go down here and see what it says for shorts. Dooby 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 doo. We don't need to find it there. It's going to be over here. There we go. And by the way, I don't really use Yahoo much for this kind of stuff statistically, because they're so far off the mark. I mean, Yahoo is only showing shares that are by institutions. They used to show numbers. Now they changed it to percentage. They don't even show the numbers anymore. Okay, that's pretty pitiful. But I'm going to look down here, and here we go. Short of float, 14.61%. 14.61. Short of shares outstanding is 13.66. Still outrageous. And these people are insane to be shorting this company here. Very, very crazy to do it. Look at how much cash they've got, operating cash here they got. They got freaking cash at $2.89 billion. All right. Total cash per share, 302. Oh my gosh, folks. It is insane. Their total debt to equity is 118.70. All right. And I want you to be aware of something, folks. You need to be very, very aware of something here, that we're going to be profitable on the next earnings call. And that is the most important thing for you all to understand, that SoFi is going to be profitable on the next earnings call. Now, is there anything else that I wanted to bring to your attention about SoFi? Let me think. Oh, the lunchtime low. I did find my sheet. I got my lunchtime low sheet back. And what we had was a lunchtime low yesterday, folks, of $7.79. And the lunchtime low today, no wonder they came at us so hard, because the lunchtime low today was $8.27, almost 50 cents higher on the lunchtime low today, people. How do you like that? And all that does, again, is just shows you the strength in this stock, okay? The strength in this stock. And in the NASDAQ, look at the strength coming in the money from 3 billion, 8, 2 billion, 5, 4, 2, 4, 4, 4 billion, 8, 5 billion, 6, 5 billion, 6 again, 6 billion, 2. This is the NASDAQ, 6 billion, 2, folks. It's insane. The volume is pouring into the market right now. Don't be fooled into thinking otherwise. No one left the market today in any kind of fears. Let's go see what the Finance Home tried to say end of day, why the market went red. And I'll tell you why. The real reason is, the reason it went red is because they wanted it to go red, because they want to steal shares away from weak hands and let it go up the rest of the week. That's my call. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. All right. Now, let's go here. Stocks close lower. Oil level hits lowest levels since June. I want you to think about this, folks. Where would the price of crude oil be per barrel if the dimwit that we have running this country hadn't shut down the pipeline? If he hadn't shut down the pipeline and trying to close up oil expansion everywhere and get away from fossil fuels, where do you think the price per gallon would be right now? And we cannot get away from fossil fuels, people. We cannot do it. We cannot get away from coal. There's no way we're going to power all these cars and electric plug-ins without going back to coal. It was admitted yesterday by the people on the Congress and in the Senate. They were asking questions of these people who are the energy folks, and they all said, how are we going to run all these cars on electricity? And they said, well, we can't do it. There's no way it can be done on what they're saying right now, which is because it's not good for us, and that is they're saying that natural gas, you cannot make energy factories out of natural gas. And even the guy in the seat that was getting all the questions and all the heat finally broke down and said, we're going to switch back to coal. And I already told you folks this, in case you weren't aware of it. You better be aware of it, because the United States is the only dimwits and the people over in Europe doing this, because guess what they're doing in China? Go look. Google. China adding coal power stations. Look at the rate at which they're adding them, folks. Coal power continues to expand in China despite the government's pledges and goals. All right. Baloney. I read it today. They have been creating tons and tons. Could see over 300 coal plants. All right. As much as the Northern Hemisphere reels under devastating impact of climate change, you can see a spree of over 300 coal plants in China. All right. China continues coal spree despite climate goals. This is just released in August, okay? China is building large number of coal-fired power plants to drive its post-pandemic economy. Folks, I'm telling you, and the number of plants was something like 30 a month. It seemed insane when I read that. All right, let's go, if I can find that, stations per month. Per month. See if it'll come up. Anyway, I'm just letting you folks know this kind of thing in case you're interested in knowing this kind of thing. They are building like crazy per month, new projects, new permits for more coal power plants in China. This is just insane. It is insane what they're doing. coal power plants is huge and growing. They're growing. They're building more and more every single day. Unfortunately, I cannot see how many per month. I did find it earlier today, and it was astounding to see how many coal plants they are building than the rest of the world. It's insane, folks. It's absolutely insane. And I'm going to go here on NPR. China is building 6 times more coal plants than other countries. Because guess what? They know you can't melt steel with natural gas, and you can't melt iron. You can't do anything with metal works. You can't build huge buildings out of steel unless you have coal, because gas won't do that, everybody. You can't do that with natural gas, because natural gas will not burn into heat hot enough to melt steel and melt metal, folks. I'm telling you. All right. And this is a known fact. But you got somebody that's running our country who's leaning forward on the podium and saying, I'm going to close all the coal factories. I'm going to shut them down. Whispering Joe. Anyway, there you go, folks. There it is. You can see it. It's all right here. You can forget about the world getting cleaner with China building 6 times more coal plants than the rest of the world is combined. Okay, folks, I'm telling you what I know is true. You can look into this information more if you want to. It's very alarming to see that we got people running this country trying to shut all the coal off while you got our adversaries and advancing societies manufacturing more and more coal factories, because guess what's where the energy is all going to be? It's going to be there. Energy. The company runs on energy. Donald Trump of all knows this more than anybody. The country has to produce energy. All right. And I'm sorry, but I'm not buying into their program, just like I didn't buy into the rundown today on the stock market. And the reason that they're saying it dropped, there was no reason that it dropped. There was no reason that it dropped. They're making it drop, folks. They're trying to shake people out because they've gotten themselves in a big, huge bear trap. And one thing I like seeing is when the Dow and everything closes at the end of the day, I love to see the futures down here. This is just one more attempt to keep riding it down before tomorrow when you get up and the futures are going to be up. I called it today, this morning. I called it. I'm going to call it again. They're going to run the NASDAQ possibly to a new high again tomorrow and then try to yank it down and scare everyone out again. Because this number right here, folks, on the NASDAQ that you saw today, I'm going to try and get back over to it again. This number on the NASDAQ, folks, is an awesome high number today. This day's range, 15,799. Do you know the last time we reached 15,799? It was a long time back here. We were down here in the 15.8s. Okay, right here, 15.857. Folks, this is a pullback to 15.805. We actually saw 16.062. That was on November the 23rd. November the 28th, still over 16. Folks, this NASDAQ is high right now. It's looking excellent, and it looks even more excellent for more growth going forward after a small breather that they took today. So that's my take on the whole stock market today. I haven't had a chance to show you everything else, but look at this chart. Look at this SoFi chart right here since what happened on 11/10 and 11/21, the final day of the rundown on the SoFi stock price, and look at it since then. Look at this line that it's headed on. By this rate, $10 possibly by Christmas. Approaching $10 at Christmas is my call. And then by the time we get into January, and as we get closer and closer to January 30th, this is what I see happening. There's January the 16th. Let's pull it on down and see where it ends up by January the 30th. Right here, January the 30th. This is where we might end up being on January the 30th, right here, this range. 1275 to 1350. Somewhere in this range is where we're going to be by then, folks. If we continue this trajectory, just like we did back here, we've done it before, folks, and we could easily see it happen again. This trajectory right here is virtually the same as the trajectory that we're on right now. Okay? So, if we were all the way down here at 541 and we went all the way to 974, that's a doubler. And if we were all the way down here at 751 and we went all the way up here to 1170, that's a nice little pop too, folks. And so right now we're in that same scenario right now. This looks very, very sweet. I love seeing that 10-day moving average bouncing right there. You don't see that on the 10-day moving average often. Look how curvy this is, how gradual this all takes place. Curve, curvy, curvy, curve. This is not a common move on the 10-day moving average. What I'm showing you right here is not a common move, folks. This right here, from here, look where the curve ended abruptly right there at 11:30 was the end of it. And look at the sharp climb since then on the 10-day moving average, because we're going off, people, because we're a train. We're steamrolling train, folks, just like my thumbnail shows you. This thing is a train, it's a locomotive. You better jump on, get on the train now. Here is my channel, my live channel. I'm going to go on here and show you my channel, and you're going to see us. You're going to see the picture. This is going to be us that you're going to see right here on this train picture. That is us right there. SoFi train rumbles on. Look, get your ticket now, folks. Please get your ticket now. I want to thank you for being here with me. All of this information that I've shared with you this evening, I hope that you'll find helpful, and I hope that you'll hit the like button before you go, because I'm fixing to shut things down here. I want to say thank you for being here. As I always say, I hope that you're very happy in your life and your endeavors. I hope that you're prosperous and fruitful. I hope that you also have great health. And I'm also hoping that you are surrounded with love. That's the most important thing. I'm going to bring this over here now. We're going to put this down. I want to thank you. And I'm going to put this down here. I'm going to pull this up here so I can make this picture bigger so I can see all of you folks. And again, I'm very, very grateful for your presence. I'm very grateful for your support, everyone. I thank you for the likes. I thank you for sharing my channel with other folks. I'm very impressed when I see new people coming on here every day and making comments and adding good things to the channel. Every time we get new people in, they bring us a new aspect, a new perspective, and that's why we're glad to see more and more people coming aboard. So I want to say thank you again one more time, and I want to thank you for being here tomorrow when I'm going to be on. If you come up, you might see me get on here right around the opening. I don't know exactly what time, but tomorrow I do have some business to take care of midday, so I'll only be doing a little bit in the morning, and then I might come on later in the afternoon. But thank you for joining me here this evening, and I'm very grateful for you doing so. And then we're going to come over here, and we're going to put this one back up where it belongs. Bring this down, bring this up, and there it is right there, folks. That's how we look right now as we speak. And I want to be very clear to you folks that I think that this train is unstoppable. I don't think there's any way that they can control what's going on here. I think it is flying, and you better jump on this train like this person's attempting to do right here, because this baby seemed unstoppable, especially after today's manipulative efforts. To see it come back up and be green at the end of the day is a thing of beauty, folks. And I want you to see that they were showing that we were down, and now they show a price rise of 1 cent on the day at 405 at 790. That is a rise. That is beautiful. And that's not where it ended up, because, folks, unfortunately for the shorters, it actually ended up at 799. And, folks, if you see how much they had it down today, that's a technical gain for the 5th day in a row on this stock. And the lows were higher, the highs were higher today than they were yesterday, and that's another plus. So we got all kinds of pluses going here. Don't worry about what they're doing with these futures, because I can assure you that the futures are being monkeyed with even as we speak, and you can already see that they're already starting to turn, and there's a good possibility they'll all even be green here within an hour or two. But I'm not worried about that, because I know in my mind from what I saw today and that manipulation I saw going on all day, that's what I'm calling it. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. So there you go, folks. Thank you again for being here. Let me put this down and see if anybody said anything that's worthy of me noticing. I wanted to show you one other thing here, and that was, yeah, Chuck. Hey, I said, thanks, Kat. You're very welcome. I appreciate it, Chuck. Thank you, Chuck. And thanks for your comment and presence here. I love it, man. Thank you for being here. All right, everybody. I'm going to put that up. That's going to be the last one I'm saying to anybody. Thank you, Roberto, for being with me here. And it's late. I got to get to bed. As Roberto knows, it's freaking past my bedtime. You can't keep staying up until 11 and 12 and getting up at 5 in the morning to see what the price is if you're going to stay up later than it is now. So it's time for me to say goodbye. So this one will be somewhat like the Johnny Carson thing I'm going to do. And it's going to go like this. I'm so glad we had this time together just to laugh a bit and sing some songs. Seems we just got started. And before you know it, seems it's time for us to say so long. All right. So I'm saying so long to you all. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, good night. Adieu, adieu, and tomorrow's Sofi's flight, right? There we go. It's the unstoppable train. It's going to run on and rumble on down the tracks tomorrow. We're probably going to see increased gains, as I've said it was going to happen, and expect, like I said, 2 to 3% gains every single day from now until the earnings call. And that's going to happen except for an exception of 1 or 2 days between now and then where we'll see slight little pullbacks, just like we did today. That is nothing after a 25% gain over the last 10 days. A 1% breather is great for us. So that's it. I'm done. And now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here this evening with me and King Cat Tyler. It's always a pleasure to have you here with us. We sure do appreciate it, and we hope that you have a great night's sleep. Hope you have a super duper dreams, and we hope that you achieve all the things that you have in your goals in life. And most of all, like Catfish Tyler said, we hope that you are surrounded with love. So that's going to do it for me, King Cat and King Cat Tyler. And I'm going to say farewell to you now. Thank you for being here, and we hope to see you again tomorrow, everybody. Now, don't forget to hit that like button, as I'm going to toddle on down the bottom and see what else I can find here. Have a great night, everybody.